My name is Alexandra Pierce. I'm 27 years old, and 3 weeks ago, my sister Vanessa walked into the Ashford estate with her fiancé and a forged signature, absolutely certain she could steal the venue I'd booked for my wedding. She told the event coordinator I'd graciously given up my date. She showed them doctored emails. She even brought a deposit check. But when estate owner Catherine Ashford walked into that meeting room and saw what was happening, her face went from confusion to fury in exactly 3 seconds. And when she pulled out the original contract, the one with my signature and a very specific clause on page 4, Vanessa's confident smile crumbled like wet paper. Before I tell you what happened next, if you enjoy stories about justice and family karma, take a second to like this video and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. To understand why Vanessa thought she could get away with this, I need to take you back to January 2024, when I got engaged to Marcus Chen, the man who'd been my best friend since college and my partner for 6 years. Growing up in our family meant understanding your place in the hierarchy. Vanessa was the golden child, 3 years older, blonde, effortlessly charming. She had our mother's theatrical flair and our father's gift for making people believe whatever she said. I was the quiet one, brown hair, practical, the daughter who worked in boring finance while Vanessa pursued her creative career as a lifestyle influencer. The differences showed up everywhere. For Vanessa's 21st birthday, our parents rented out a restaurant downtown, invited 80 guests, and surprised her with a BMW. For mine, we had dinner at home with a grocery store cake. "You're not really a party person anyway," my mother said, like my preferences had anything to do with it. Marcus proposed on New Year's Eve. By January 3rd, I'd already toured the Ashford estate. The Ashford estate sits on 40 acres of pristine Connecticut countryside. The main house is a restored 1920s mansion with marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and gardens that look like they belong in a romance novel. It's one of the most exclusive wedding venues on the East Coast. Catherine Ashford, who inherited it from her grandmother, only books 12 weddings per year. I fell in love with it instantly. The tour was scheduled for 10 a.m. Catherine herself showed me around, unusual since she typically had coordinators handle initial visits. But she'd seen my inquiry email where I'd mentioned my work in estate planning and financial management, and she wanted to meet me personally. "I like working with detail-oriented people," she said as we walked through the ballroom. "Too many brides treat this place like a party house. I'm looking for someone who appreciates what it actually is." We talked for 2 hours, not just about the wedding, but about preservation, about legacy, about the responsibility of maintaining historic properties. I told her about my work at Hastings Financial Group, where I managed portfolios for high net worth clients. She told me about the challenges of keeping the estate operational while maintaining its character. By noon, we'd moved past vendor and client. We were connecting as professionals who understood what it meant to protect something valuable. "I want to book October 12th, 2025, I said. Catherine smiled. "Let me draw up the contract." The Ashford estate contract was 15 pages. Most venues had 5. Catherine walked me through every clause: cancellation policy, damage deposits, vendor requirements, guest limits. Then she got to page 4, paragraph 7. "This is my protection clause," she said. "If anyone other than the named client attempts to use this venue under false pretenses, forged documents, impersonation, fraudulent claims, the original contract holder has the right to immediate enforcement, and the fraudulent party is permanently banned from the property with legal action at my discretion." "Has that ever happened?" I asked. "Twice. Both times family members tried to steal someone's date. Both times I had them removed by police." She looked at me seriously. "I don't tolerate people who lie to get what they want. If someone tries this with your booking, you call me directly." I signed the contract on January 15th, 2024. Deposit, $8,500. Total contract value, $32,000 for the venue, coordination, and preferred vendor package. I didn't announce it on social media. I didn't post about it in family chat. I'd learned early that sharing good news with my family just gave them ammunition. For 8 months, wedding planning was perfect. Marcus and I chose a string quartet, we selected a catering menu, we designed invitations.
Everything was progressing exactly as planned. Then Vanessa got engaged. September 14th, 2024. She posted it on Instagram, a surprise proposal on a beach in Malibu. Her influencer boyfriend, Tyler, who had 340,000 followers posting generic hustle culture content, had arranged photographers, rose petals, the whole performance. My mother called me that night, breathless with excitement. "Isn't it wonderful? Vanessa's engaged, finally." "I've been engaged for 9 months, Mom." "Well, yes, but this is different. Tyler has such a platform. Think of the wedding content." Within 24 hours, Vanessa had decided she wanted an October 2025 wedding. "Fall vibes are so on brand," she told me of her family dinner that weekend. "That's when my wedding is," I said carefully, "October 12th, 2025. Vanessa waved her hand dismissively. "You can move yours. You're not doing anything Instagram-worthy anyway. Where are you even having it?" Something cold settled in my chest. I recognized that tone. "I'm not moving my date, Vanessa." "Don't be selfish, Alex. My wedding needs to be in peak fall. Tyler's brand depends on seasonal content. Your wedding is just normal." My father cleared his throat. "Alexandra, surely you can be flexible. Vanessa's career depends on this." I looked at Marcus. He was watching me, waiting to follow my lead. "No," I said quietly. "October 12th, 2025 is my date. I booked it almost a year ago. Find your own date, Vanessa." My mother's face tightened. "After everything we've done for you, you can't make one small sacrifice for your sister?" I stood up from the table. "Come on, Marcus, we're leaving." As we walked out, I heard Vanessa say, "She's always been like this, so rigid. No wonder she works in finance." 3 weeks later, I got a call from Jordan, the events coordinator at Ashford. "Alexandra, I need to talk to you about something strange. Someone claiming to be you called yesterday asking about moving your date. When I said we'd need to speak with you directly, she said she was calling on your behalf and that you'd authorized her to make changes." My stomach dropped. "What did you tell her?" "I said we don't accept third-party authorizations. All changes must come from the client directly with signature verification." She got agitated and hung up. "It was my sister. She wants my date for her own wedding." "That's what I suspected. I've flagged your account. No changes without in-person signature verification and your verbal confirmation." I should have known that wouldn't stop Vanessa. October 3rd, 2024. Exactly a year before my wedding. Jordan called again. Her voice was tight. "Alexandra, you need to come to the estate, now. Your sister is here with forged documents trying to take over your contract." I was in my office at Hastings Financial. I grabbed my bag, told my assistant to cancel my afternoon, and drove 90 minutes to the estate doing 80 the whole way. When I walked into the estate's administrative building, I found Vanessa in the main office with Tyler, a stack of papers, and the kind of entitled smile that said she thought she'd already won. Jordan stood behind her desk, looking furious. Catherine Ashford stood in the doorway of her private office, arms crossed, face unreadable. "Alex," Vanessa's voice was performatively cheerful. "Finally, I've been just explaining to Catherine, yes, we're on a first-name basis now, that you wanted to give me your wedding date. It's so generous of you." I looked at Jordan. "What documents did she bring?" Jordan slid the papers across her desk. "Emails allegedly from me saying I wanted to gift my wedding venue booking to my sister, a forged letter on what looked like Hastings Financial letterhead, even a fake signature that resembled mine." "These are forgeries," I said flatly. "Every single one." Vanessa's smile flickered. "Alex, don't be embarrassing. We both know you can't afford this venue on your salary. Mom and Dad agreed to cover my wedding here instead. It just makes more sense." Tyler jumped in. "Okay, let's all just calm down." "Sit down," Catherine said. Her voice was ice. "Miss Vanessa Pierce, you have committed fraud, forgery, and attempted stealing of services. Page 4, paragraph 7 of the original contract, which your sister signed in good faith, specifically addresses this situation."
She pulled out a printed copy and read aloud. "If anyone other than the named client attempts to use this venue under false pretenses, the original contract holder has the right to immediate enforcement, and the fraudulent party is permanently banned from the property." Vanessa's mouth opened and closed. "You can't." I didn't. You brought forged emails, forged letterhead, a fake signature. You claim to speak for someone without authorization. That's fraud. Catherine pulled out her phone. I'm calling the police. You can explain it to them. Wait, Vanessa's voice cracked. Tyler, do something. Tyler was already backing toward the door. Actually, I have a call. Tyler! He left, just walked out while Vanessa stood there, her entire performance crumbling. My mother called my phone 7 times during the 20 minutes we waited for the police. I didn't answer. When the officers arrived, Catherine handed them the forged documents, the original contract, and her formal complaint. Vanessa was crying now, mascara running, all her influencer polish dissolving. "This is your fault," she hissed at me as the officers took her statement. "You could have just moved your date. You could have chosen any other venue in Connecticut, any other date, but you wanted mine because you can't stand that I have something you don't." The police declined to arrest her, but issued a formal warning. Catherine banned her permanently from the property and filed a restraining order preventing her from contacting the estate staff. As Vanessa left, Tyler had actually driven away without her. She had to call an Uber. She turned back one more time. "Mom and Dad won't pay for your wedding now. You know that, right?" They weren't paying anyway. "Marcus and I are covering everything ourselves. We have been from the start." She had no response to that. My wedding happened on October 12th, 2025, exactly as planned. The Ashford estate looked like something out of a dream. 120 guests, a string quartet, sunset ceremony in the gardens. Catherine Ashford herself attended as my guest. My parents didn't come. They'd told me I was tearing the family apart by pressing charges. I hadn't, and refusing to compromise. I had nothing to compromise. Vanessa posted passive-aggressive content on Instagram for weeks. Tyler broke up with her 3 months later when the drama affected his brand. But here's what I learned. Some people will always believe they deserve what you've earned. They'll forge documents, lie to your face, and play victim when they're caught. Your job isn't to make them understand. It's to protect what's yours and let the consequences find them. A year later, I have wedding photos that make me cry with joy, a husband who stood beside me through all of it, and a relationship with Catherine Ashford who's become a genuine friend. Vanessa has her influencer account and diminishing engagement numbers. I have my life, my marriage, and the peace that comes from knowing I didn't bend. Some venues are worth fighting for. Some boundaries are worth defending. And some family members need to learn that forgery has consequences. Thank you for staying with me through this story. If it resonated, if you've ever had to defend something you worked for, subscribe and let me know in the comments. Until next time, protect what's yours.